show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Face in your face. Face in your face.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching this channel for the first time, the reason why it's called Uncommon Sense because here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues where we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. So for that reason, it's called Uncommon Sense. I want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch. And I see we also have a comment in the chat. Okay. Good evening, Visions of Asia. Thank you very much for stopping by. Good evening. Yes, I did. Thank you very much. Good evening, Irby. Now, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all those who have already subscribed to the channel, whether you've been a supporter from the very beginning or just recently joined. I really appreciate all the love and all the support all of you have given me. And as you can see, I have reached 349 subs. So I really appreciate all the love and support. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who follow me on social media, particularly when it comes to Instagram and TikTok. Your continued support really touches my heart. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who allow me to enter into your devices and all those who watch from the clouds, even the haters. So what I'm going to ask you to do, if you have not done so already, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe, like, and set the bell notifications to all. So therefore, whenever I do produce content, you will have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. Okay. And I see here we already have a guest. So before I continue, let me just state that the views of those who appear on the panel are not necessarily those of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy material without the consent of the host is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image. Some of the views that people on call might be considered offensive to some viewers. If you do not like the content, you can block the channel. And we're going to bring in our guest. Good evening.
Hi. How's it going?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for stopping by.
Sure thing. Thank you for having me.
Okay. I'm familiar with the channel, but for the members of my audience who are not familiar about what you do, would you just share a little bit regarding your channel?
Well, Visions of Asia, well, initially it started out as kind of like a vlog of my life. But my life is generally pretty boring. So I started talking about other things and doing reaction videos. So I just talk about lots of different things, social issues, just any and everything, really. I mean, I have different playlists on my channel. If you guys ever want to check it out, you can see the different topics we talk about on there.
Well, actually, you're the one that gave me the inspiration for tonight's theme. So,
which is
I saw,
sorry.
I saw your videos regarding these morbidly obese people showing pride weighing 300 and 400 pounds. So I had to give like an appropriate response. First of all, with me, I've always been overweight all my life. At one point, I weighed 382 pounds.
Okay.
And actually through a gastric bypass, I went down to 238.
Wow.
And I've always struggled, losing weight, gaining weight, losing weight, gaining weight. So I'm on the right path now. It's just that I wanted to discuss this topic, but bring some reality, okay? And the fact of the matter is, when you are morbidly obese, you expose yourself for multiple health issues, cardiac issues, diabetes, pressure on your joints, and so forth.
Definitely. And I think one of the main topics that I do like to talk about on my channel is fat acceptance, because I just feel like it's one of those things that's just it's contrary to just reality. Like you can love yourself, of course, and I do recommend everybody loving themselves, but having a good self-image is different than, escaping what your body image actually is. And if you are obese, it's not healthy.
No. And just for the record, I consider myself morbidly obese. Okay. I'm at 249, but I'm still morbidly obese.
Well, how tall are you?
I'm 5'7".
Okay, I don't know, maybe by a doctor's standard, but I mean, you don't look like that, not to me anyway.
Well, the fact of the matter is, it's kind of hard to show since I'm sitting down, but
Yeah.
But the fact of the matter is, we need to bring some reality into the issue regarding obesity. Good evening, George.
Hey, Jose, and hey, Asia.
Hey,
But
how's it
yeah,
going?
oh, it's going very well. But yeah, I was listening in on the conversation, and I also wanted to say something quickly on a related note. But I am tired of people who are trying to put, I guess you could say, quote unquote, fatness or quote unquote fat liberation on the same equivalency as being black or being Italian, and making some crazy claims about how there's intersectional oppression going on against, I guess, fat people, and how they're being marginalized and denied housing, this, that, and the third. I'm like, okay, you guys lost me on this. It's gone way too far. And it's doing nothing but creating all of these false dichotomies and false equivalencies when it comes to like social issues, and trying to tie fatness into being black or something. Like, come on, that's going too far.
Agreed. There's
Yeah.
no way to even equate that.
Yeah, and I've even
Yeah.
talked like about that too, very briefly, even on my platform too.
Well,
That I'm
see,
fat phobic according to my haters.
well,
I've heard
well,
that
of course,
too.
well, of course, the fat loving people are hating me right now because I'm actually speaking reality. Okay, but the fact of the matter is, most of my family has been overweight. Okay, so, and it's just that I'm just trying to address the issue, which is something that unfortunately these people who are into this fat pride don't want to realize.
Wow, Jose. I guess I guess you are now the quote unquote fat phobic, senile, lonely old man. According to your haters. The senile fat phobic man.
But look, let
That's
me
what
tell
they're
you
gonna
something.
call you now.
And you know what? At this stage, I don't care, or as we say in Spanish, no importa. I mean, really. Look, here on this platform, we discuss everyday issues and we try to bring some uncommon sense into the conversation.
And that's a good thing, because one thing that I've definitely noticed with a lot of those people that try to, it's almost like they're just using it as a way of, what's the word? It's almost like they want to justify their weight, and instead of like actively trying to get healthy. They ignore facts like, the fact that your longevity and like you already said, your health is 100% affected by the weight, and there's just no way to justify it. You want people to accept you. I understand everybody wants to be accepted, but that's not what it's about. You know what I mean? People aren't telling you to lose weight because they don't like the way you look, even though maybe a lot of people don't. It's just one of those things where it doesn't matter what you look like. It's about your health. And when you're trying to make obesity into this great grandiose thing and you're just ignoring reality and science, that's where you just lose me, because I'm a very logical person and I don't see like how they justify it.
Amen.
Uh,
And
I agree. I agree. And look, I as an obese person, I graduated. I was the first member of my family to graduate from college with a bachelor's degree. I have been working as a municipal employee for the city of New York for almost 25 years and actually gotten one promotion. I became a homeowner late at night. I own my own apartment. Okay. I chose not to let the fact that I'm overweight deter me from achieving my goals. And my goal is to be as healthy as I can in whatever amount of time that God has allowed me to live.
That's what's up.
amen. Because a good, fair question to ask is, why aren't there any quote unquote fat liberation activists in the age bracket of Jose?
That's because they're dying pretty young, especially the heavier they are. And it's always the super fats. You know what I mean? Because like I got no issue with people being overweight. I mean, I myself am considered overweight. I could probably stand to lose about 30 pounds. But, my weight loss goals and journey had to be kind of put on hold. I don't know if you know this, but I'm currently pregnant right now. So it's like one of those things where you can't really try to lose weight when you're doing that. So, but, I don't know.
Well, congratulations to you, Asia, though. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm there with you too in regards to how I'm not all about this whole fat shaming, because my cousin, she is in the morbidly obese category, and I love her very much. She's beautiful, but I'm not going to sit around here and say that her issue is something to be glamorized by this insane woke mob, as I am going to call it nowadays.
Yeah, and some of them even claim, you have those people like Tess Holliday who are like clearly morbidly obese, 400 or 500 pounds, claiming to have a restrictive eating disorder like anorexia. Like what? On what planet? Mars? Because it certainly isn't Earth.
Well, part of it is that nowadays people are not taking individual accountability for their actions. Okay. You see that with a lot of people. Okay. And it goes in all different generations. So I just don't want to lump all the millennials and the Gen Z people in the same lot. Okay. But I mean, you do have people who, accountability is like kryptonite. Okay. And I just decided, you know what? After seeing one brother passed away at age 36, another brother passed away at 49, a third brother passed away at 56, and an older sister that passed away at 68 to the stage for lung cancer. I decided to take accountability and accept the fact I'm old, I'm bald, and I'm fat. And I know that the fat, proud pride people are hating me right now. They can hate me all they want. I'm going to speak the truth.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is a
be the
cop-out.
fat. Yeah, man, just be the fat phobic senile man now.
I mean,
yeah,
I've been
Visions
called
of Asia, though. I mean, he's always called senile, and now he's going to be called fat phobic because me and Jose have been, friends since 2022, when I was like really changing around my life and everything. And since then, he's just been, attacked from left to right and everything, being called senile, lonely, and old, decrepit, and now he's going to be called fat phobic, which, according to these people, is basically racism.
Yeah, and and what really makes me want to think about what planet they're on is that you cannot change being black, you cannot change being mixed, you cannot change. Well, okay, you can change your gender anatomically,
Mhm.
but you can't change the fact that you are morbidly obese.
Mhm.
Exactly, though. I mean, like, I actually have to stay at a certain weight, though, because any kind of like significant weight gain is going to be really bad for me because I'm also prone to hypertension. So I actually cannot hop on board with this fat acceptance movement, even if I wanted to.
Yeah, the only people
Yeah,
that praise it are fat people because they're the only ones that want to be considered beautiful at their size, and they know, and most of it, I'm not gonna lie, most of it is women, and I think it's because they look at the magazines and they, see that most high earning men typically choose women that are, have lower weights, you know what I'm saying? And they feel left out. They may feel marginalized in that sense, but biology exists. The reason that those men are attracted to those women is because of health. I mean, ultimately, that's what it is. You want a partner that's going to have longevity and be around for you, you know what I'm saying, and be able to procreate and have children in a healthy way. And the heavier you are, it's sometimes it's almost impossible, or you're just going to put yourself and the child at a high
yeah,
risk.
Yeah, because since you mentioned earlier, Asia, that you're pregnant, I mean, a pregnancy is already a lot on a woman's body. But if you're going to um, plus that with obesity, I'm not sure whether that's going to be the best combination. But you could correct me if I'm wrong about that.
Oh, you are 100% right. I mean, I've seen other YouTubers who are on the morbid obese category who have had miscarriages and that tried over and over again unsuccessfully to have children
Because of the obesity.
because of
and
the obesity.
yeah,
Got it. Yeah, I can
and
see
one
that.
yeah, and one yeah, and one thing again, I'm not talking out of anger. I'm talking out of concern for other people who are in similar situation I am. I mean, you're not doing your heart a favor by carrying all that weight. You're not doing your joints a favor by carrying all that weight. Okay. And you're talking, I'm a person that have undergo 2 knee replacements. And I scheduled to undergo a revised knee replacement in the end of June. So it's like it's a medical necessity. If nothing else, to ease the burden on my poor knees to lose the weight.
I'm really glad that you're admitting that and saying that because you have so many people that are in this, fat acceptance that are pretty young, they're in their 20s and 30s, and so they haven't got to that point, and so they think they're fine, but in reality, it's coming.
Yep,
All of those health issues are coming.
exactly. And
Yeah, and I
one
think that
thing,
Jose. Oh no, go on.
it's not good.
No, I did think that, Jose, that you're just coming from a place of tough love.
Hmm.
Tough love,
And oh,
not
yeah,
hatred.
and also, yeah, and also, as a Christian, just like my friend Giorgio is, the body is the temple of the Holy Spirit. So therefore, when you put all that weight on your body, you're really causing your body physical harm, emotional harm, and spiritual harm.
Exactly, though, because and also even like um the physical health of your body even if affects the health of your brain, and then that in itself just fers over to the spirit, and then plus
Hmm.
like the condition of your spirit is also going to reflect your outward appearance, because like, okay, even if you are like overeating though, and that's contributing to obesity though, that has a lot to do with the sin of gluttony, right? And so we do start to
Hmm.
see that outwardly, because whatever you have going on inwardly, it's going to reflect outwardly.
Yes.
And that
And I
it's
see,
tied into your spiritual condition. And that's a beautiful
yes,
baby right there.
yes, that's a beautiful child.
Oh, thank you. He's getting upset. I usually
Yeah.
try to go live and stuff later on because they're still up right now. I do apologize.
No, it's, you know
Oh
what,
yeah, no
believe me,
worries.
it's okay. It's okay. I mean, um, I'm very easygoing. Okay. And
Appreciate
basically,
it.
no, I mean, look, I don't censor. People are allowed to express themselves as they see fit. The only stipulation is, is just please be mutually respectable with each other, because I have certain individuals that had not respected my cyber home, so to speak, and they had to be kicked out.
Rightfully so, if they don't have any respect.
Hmm. Exactly. But, you know, like I said, your videos inspire me to to give this response, and let people, particularly people who are overweight or morbidly obese, that they know, no, it's not okay to be 300, 400 pounds, or even 250 pounds like myself, because what you're doing is you're creating a lot of undue pressure on your heart. You're doing a lot of undue pressure on your lungs. You're creating a lot of undue pressure on your joints. You're making it work hard. And what you're doing is, um, you're making your quality of life much poorer. And I see here, wow, we have the radical Latino. Wow, long time no see.
Hey, yeah, I remember Radical. Hey man.
Yeah. So the topic for tonight is basically, dealing with the people who are into fat pride, and like it's not something to flex about. Um, as a person like myself who is morbidly obese, I can tell you, uh, it's not all that glamorous. There's a lot of issues involved when you're overweight.
Yeah, it's definitely more than just a social stigma. I mean, the health issues I think is probably the most important thing. And that's something that the fat acceptance people either totally ignore or they try to negate. Like they just try to act like, oh, I'm healthy. I'm able to do all of this, and that. But it's like, are you really? Are you really compared to other people who are of a lesser weight? Or are you just like I don't know if you guys have ever heard of that young lady. She's pretty popular. Her name is Glitters and Lasers on YouTube, and she's probably easily 400, 450 pounds. And she's always trying to make it seem like she's super healthy, doing these exercises and running. And all she's doing is honestly destroying whatever cartilage she's got. I mean, it's going to be out of here by the time she hits 40, if it
Um,
hasn't
in
already.
in what universe is she's healthy?
In her own sad little mind, I guess.
No, but
'Cause
Like
no, but I'm sorry. But
like
one thing, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Jojo. I'm sorry.
okay. No, let's get ready to ask Asia though. Is that, do you remember that one woman from TikTok who was saying that, hey, that you're attacking, or basically like attacking fat people is rooted in eugenics and racism?
oh wow. I don't
Oh
know.
boy.
I may have.
Yeah, like her talk went super duper viral of people attacking her, and she was talking about how moment people start talking about diets, she has to leave because of how she says she has like a master's degree in health and nutrition and this, that, and the third, and saying that our doctors are lying to us, and that them telling people to lose weight is basically them saying that they're supporting eugenics and racism, and they're attacking her as a fat person, then you're being a racist.
Wow.
Um, okay. First of all, as a fat person myself, how you're a racist? I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, you could be anybody any ethnic background can be morbidly obese. It's like it's like me calling this phone a person. It's a device. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, it's miss me with the misinformation.
Exactly. And like you already said it, being overweight is something that you can 100% change. Being black is something you can't. You're just stuck as a black person.
Exactly.
And there's no comparison. And now we're in a day and age where, black people don't deal with the same things that they did obviously 100 years ago, but to compare it is just, it's honestly offensive. As a person who's biracial like myself, it's offensive when I hear people say stuff like that, because it's like, you can't compare slavery to people not putting you in a magazine because you're morbidly obese. It's just not
Exactly.
visually appealing for the most part. Like, if you're not super, super heavy and you have, the meat in the right spots, you got curves, I can admit, some women who have weight on them do look good. But I mean, it gets to a certain point where, I mean, nobody's going to look good at 400, 500, 600 pounds. I mean, you hardly look human, let alone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. That's probably harsh of me, but that's the kind of stuff I say on my channel. So I definitely get a lot of backlash too.
Right.
I see that the Radical Latino is trolling.
Nice. Speaking about your biraciality, Asia, though, I mean, like, I even did like the whole ancestry test, and I descend from like the Igbo people of Nigeria, and then the Ulster Scots of Scotland. I got Portuguese too. My point with that is that I can't really do anything about that, but I can certainly do something about weight issues.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And as a person that achieve a great deal of success, being morbidly obese, okay. Like I said, I'm the first member of my family to graduate with a bachelor's degree. I have almost 25 years of working for the city of New York and actually got one promotion on my belt. I also became a homeowner. Okay. So the fact that I'm overweight, I did not deter me from achieving my goals.
Yeah.
Nice. It's quite sad that we even have to talk about this, but all this craziness going on in the social climate has now pushed us into talking about stuff like this when nobody was even talking about this 10 years ago. But it's quite sad and pitiful that now we have to talk about it when we shouldn't.
Yeah.
The acceptance that society wants.
Yeah. Good evening, Dreadlock Diaries. Thank you very much for stopping by. But it's just that I had to give an appropriate rebuttal regarding the fat pride people. And the fact of the matter is, being overweight or being morbidly overweight, that's not a flex in any sense of the imagination.
It's definitely not. And I appreciate you as a person who, is a little bit older, who has had the weight and then lost it, coming on here and saying that, because it's important. It needs to be heard, because you have so many people that are just misguided and they don't have the health issues yet. So they just feel like, oh, well, it's just about how I look and people should just think I'm beautiful the way I am. And it's so much more than that.
Well, the thing is that all the visceral fat around the internal organs is the worst thing to have too.
Yeah, definitely.
Visceral fat. Yep.
I mean, you can have a healthy self-esteem, but you shouldn't become delusional at the same time regarding actual state of your health.
Yes. Self-image, body image are tied, but they're not the same thing.
Right.
Exactly.
Asia.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say quickly to Asia, though. So there's this song on YouTube called, quote unquote, Fat Liberation by Angry Fat People. Sometime you should do a video response to that music video, even though it's cringe and but at the same time funny.
Oh, okay. Let me write that down. What was that again?
Quote unquote fat liberation by angry fat people. I showed it to people before and I'm like, oh my god, this woman is literally rapping about how what she's experiencing is intersectional oppression and how she's denied housing and this, that, and the third. I'm like, oh my god.
Denied housing. Are you
Denied
kidding?
housing, intersectional
I mean,
oppression.
how big is she, or is this person like?
She's in the morbidly obese category.
I'm not gonna lie. I have a house that we rent out, and if somebody who was 600 pounds came and tried to rent it out, I would probably say no, because I'd be worried about the integrity of my floors and stairs and all kinds of stuff. I might have to turn somebody that big down. But if you just, 200-300, I got no issue. But I mean, I think there are limits to what people should have to accept. Don't you? Like, don't you think that? I mean, how much weight do you guys think is too much to be overweight?
The people part of the TLC series, My 600-Pound Life.
There you go. Agreed.
Well, look, I'm at 249, so I'm way overweight. So if I'm 249, I'm way overweight. I hate to think of someone that's 400 or even 500 pounds.
Can't even imagine what that's like. Wouldn't even want to know what laying on your back would feel like. Getting off of a chair, trying to get in a vehicle, going upstairs, the pain that they must be in all the time. Can't even imagine.
Or imagine trying to fly in coach, and then you have to ask for an extender because the seatbelt doesn't reach you.
I mean, yeah, they would have to buy more than one seat, I would imagine.
That's what my cousin actually has to do when she's flying. She does have to have two seats. Like I said, I think she's beautiful, though. I'm never going to fat shame. But I think she even knows herself that what she has going on is not something to glamorize. Because I don't think that she feels great that she has to buy two seats. Because she can't really afford all that.
Well, fortunately for me, I have not let myself go to that extent when I have to get two seats. At times when I sit in coach, I do have to ask for an extender.
You know what? I'm kind of torn because on the one hand, I get we're in America, right? So like a person being overweight, maybe even on the obese side, that's not unusual. Most Americans, are overweight at the very least. But I think when it comes to like the super morbidly obese, they are definitely dealing with a food eating disorder of some sort. Like you couldn't get to that size, you know what I mean, without having some dysfunction with eating, I would think, like food addiction. I think it's a real thing, especially for those people that are like 600 pounds, because don't you get to a point where you're like so full that you throw up? I mean, these people don't have what are they, endless pits or something? Like, I mean, I get to a certain point and I'm like, all right, I can't eat anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like what me and Jose were talking about earlier, though, is the fact that like what you have going on inwardly is always going to expose itself outwardly. So like for a lot of these people who are all about the fat liberation, I'm always looking at the condition. Oh, okay.
Sorry.
All right, no worries. No worries. Hey, beautiful baby. So I'm always looking at the condition of their spirit and what's going on within. And I'm just sensing nothing but self-esteem issues, insecurity, or possible bullying that kind of happened before. And now they're trying to make something out of themselves. They're now trying to find themselves in this crazy movement so that they can finally feel the validation and the dignity that they were probably once not experiencing since they already have self-esteem issues. It's just attracting a bunch of people who are clearly dealing with probably the worst types of like mental health issues and spiritual warfare.
Definitely.
That stuff
Um,
is not something to glamorize. I'm not glamorizing mental health issues or spiritual warfare, because that's what just that particular sector of wokeness is just introducing.
Yes.
Radical. Since I seem to have a couple of things to say, perhaps you want to hit the link and join the panel and express your input further live.
Yeah, I would like to hear somebody who disagrees, like
But no,
Same.
convince me that I'm
no.
wrong
Look,
here.
I've been called senile. I mean, look, I've been called senile. I've been called old. I've been called lonely. I've been called white. I've been called racist. I mean, it's
And
not
now
as
you're going to be
bad.
called a fat phobe, which doesn't make sense, because phobia is an irrational fear of stuff. And how am I irrationally afraid of fat people?
Right.
No, no. It's
Somebody
just
help
that
me
look,
out with that question.
I mean, I've been called
okay. No, I am
transphobic
not.
and all kind of stuff.
Yeah. Look,
You're fat shaming.
it's. I mean, if I really was selfish, I would not say anything about it at all. It's just that look, as a person that's dealt with obesity all his life for 61 years plus, it's no joke. And and the fact of the matter is, you do create a lot of pressure on your heart. You create a lot of pressure of your joints. You can develop diabetes, and you have all the other complications of things of that nature. Not only that, you have to spend trying to find clothes that fit you.
Yeah. The superficial things like that, and feeling uncomfortable in spaces and places that are too small, or you know what I mean? I can
Yeah.
imagine all those things.
Yeah. And as far as the people that within my circle, I mean, they know the type of person I am. I mean, I think of myself as a somewhat rational person. Okay, I'm a little old. I'm older than most YouTube creators, but I mean, I just try to share what little wisdom that I've gained in my 61 years.
Hey, like I said, I can appreciate it. And I also appreciate the fact that you're tech savvy. Like that's what's up.
I'm not that tech savvy as others, but you know what? It's always been a learning process. Okay, I know that a lot of the people in my generation are not all that tech savvy. They still basically think Facebook is the platform of the future.
Yeah. And the fact that you're on YouTube, you have a StreamYard, and you're doing all this, that's pretty impressive. Because like I say, people in my
Agreed.
family, they wouldn't be able to do half of this. Signing on to YouTube would be like a big feat for them.
Well, actually, what I do is I do. Well, I hate to say it, but I do the millennial thing. I look at YouTube to do this. I look at YouTube to do that. So, I mean,
Well, I'm 31 and I'm a millennial born in the early 90s.
Yeah. I'm 35, so I would probably be considered a millennial too.
You are. So the millennials, we were born between 1981 to 1996.
Okay.
well, I am a baby boomer. I mean,
Yep. Baby boomers were between 1945 to 1965. But you're kind of a younger boomer.
Mm-hmm.
well, I mean, I'm trying to age well with grace.
In a good way. Okay.
Hey, we all
Yes.
are.
Yeah, because I've seen people when they reach their 60s and 70s, when they'll tend to age gracefully. They tend to be very grumpy, sometimes ornery, and that's not what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate you keeping an open mind too.
Well, I discussed many issues on this platform. In fact, in the beginning, I also addressed mental health issues regarding depression, suicide, grief, because unfortunately, not many people are talking about mental health issues. And actually, we have ever since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, health epidemic, health crisis, or whatever is mutated to it today. The fact of the matter is, you have people that had issues with mental health. You have people who unfortunately had self-deleted themselves. You have people who had actually became addicted to substances and or actually abused their partners or things of that nature. So I have devoted a great deal of time dealing with mental health issues, and I actually had a therapist appear a couple of times on my platform.
Oh, nice.
Nice. Yeah, I think I once remember you having on those special guests before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do have to be honest, like with you, Jose, and Asia. So, I mean, a lot of people already know me. I've been around in a lot of movements for years, and I mean years. And one of the number one things that I have just always noticed, or just better yet, this pattern that I've always recognized in all these social movements, no matter which kind of social movement it is, it could be about politics or race or this woke stuff or even the fat acceptance stuff. The number one pattern I've recognized is these communities attracting a lot of people with a lot of mental and emotional problems. I mean, lots. A lot of mental health issues going on. Even some I do give actually a lot of like credit and respect for them being honest about the fact that, yeah, I do have some mental health problems, or that, yeah, I am battling with some emotional issues. Yeah, I have a lot of trauma. Yeah, I have this, that, and the third. I have all this stuff going on though. And yeah, this is what happened is these communities attract people that are very broke, bored, and bitter. And I mean broke not as in that you don't have money though, but just very broken spirited.
Yeah. Well, one of the things I always believe that if it was left up to me, uh, before you think about creating a channel on this platform on YouTube, you will have to undergo a psychological evaluation. That will eliminate a lot of the clowns that appear on the circus.
You got a lot of people who think that I shouldn't even be around here, but I'm not going anywhere. Got a good testimony, I would say you better stick around and allow your story and everybody to be, be like a good source of inspiration to others to change their hearts and change.
Mm-hmm.
Let God circumcise your heart.
Yeah, I agree. Especially in light of the fact that we're in Holy Week. But I realize I'm never going to be as thin as a rail. That's a reality. Okay. I mean, as much as I try, I'll never be a 98-pound weakling. Okay. The best I got to shoot for is try to be as healthy as possible for the length of time that I'm allowed to be on planet Earth.
Yeah, I mean, you're all about like health and promoting it though. So you have to be the embodiment of the things that you get on here and preach about.
Yeah,
that's true. And then even for Asia, though, as you were gone, though, I think you already caught like much of what I said. Is that all of these movements, even the people that you talk about and their scenes and social movements, They attract just, people who happen to have like a lot of mental and emotional issues going on. But also another thing I've noticed is that it also does attract a lot of people who are, somewhere on the narcissistic and sociopathic spectrum too.
Oh yeah.
And I think that does tie a lot into health, though, because if you are really up there on that narcissistic and sociopathic spectrum, a lot of people who are like that already have things like self-esteem issues going on, and insecurities going on too, along with other inner child wounds going on as well. So I always take note of that, and I can see why they're doing what they're doing.
Well, one thing I do appreciate you, Visions, regarding your content is that you tell it like it is. You're factual. You have a funny side, and you appear to be very approachable.
I'm so sorry. My kids are really giving me trouble tonight. Well,
No, that's all good.
Yeah, but it's okay. I don't have any children. I just have cyber children, though.
So you probably deal with some babies crying in the background too. Then I'm sure.
I mean, look, when you've been to an infinite number of Zoom meetings, and you see people playing the TV on in the middle of a Zoom meeting, or have the radio on, or having loud conversations, okay, you kind of get used to it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I would much rather hear somebody like Asia's kids than the disruptive TV in the background. At least kids are precious, though, and you as a mother, you have to deal with them. But the person on the Zoom call doesn't have to keep their radio or their TV on.
That's true. That's very rude, actually.
But no. I'm actually glad that you are a good mother, Asia. So no, they come onto the screen again. No, we're not going to trip about that. But if you're blaring a TV, that's something you don't have to do, then maybe it'll become problematic.
For sure.
But actually, it's funny because I actually had two people that accused me of being racist.
Wow. What video topic were you discussing? Go ahead. Go get it.
You know what? One person I really do, to this day, I don't understand why. Because the person is not all there mentally. The other person, I don't know why, but I think you have certain individuals that have beefs with other YouTube creators. So therefore, if you are in good terms with these people, all of a sudden you become racist.
Wow, that's messed up. So you didn't even technically say anything. They just accuse you because of affiliation.
I mean, look, one individual actually made a comment that simply because of me saying, if you're cool with me, I'm cool with you, compared me to Hitler.
Sounds like you met a crazy.
Well, I have two terms for these individuals. One term is I call them the mentally and intellectually challenged, or the mix, because they are mentally challenged, mentally and intellectually. And the other one is the clowns, because, and basically they're part of a collective called the circus.
For sure.
So
I've probably dealt with my share too, and completely uncalled for stuff, like me just doing reaction videos and stuff. Like there was a lady that I actually bought her book and read it and gave a review, and the book was technically racist, but she tried to say that I was a colorist and all this stuff because she was talking about being dark skinned and like activism or something like that. And I just was like, this book is full of like racist rhetoric. Like I mean, I understand to a certain degree, like I don't know what it's like to, be inside of a person's body that is dark skinned. I mean, as somebody who is, technically racially black, I know that there are some situations where people may be a little bit racist towards you, but again, I don't know what it's like to, walk around with dark skin and everything. So maybe in her case, she does experience things that I don't know and could never know. But if somebody bought your book and was just giving their opinion on it, like to go in on them, I mean, the way she did. And so I kind of stay away from that side of YouTube. I try to stay away from talking about too many issues that are black because I'm too fair skinned and I'm not black enough, apparently. So I know.
Yeah, I get that too. And sounds like we got a lot in common, Asia, though, because let me guess, when you're out and about in the real world minding your business, you get the what are you question like I get too, right?
Oh, yeah. Like,
yep, you get it.
What are you?
You get it. Yep. So, I mean, as far as like the darker skin, I guess, black woman you're referring to, she may be right because we're not her. And so, and even with your experience, Asia, even yours is most likely even different than mine as a man, because I probably do not 100% get like the biracial, like female experience or expression. So you even have like a special testimony and story to share from yourself that's unique and distinct, and even more nuanced in my experience as a man.
Mm-hmm.
And she may actually have more nuances to her story that we are probably not going to 100% get, but we are very much open to hearing it.
Yeah.
Actually, I did see that video that you alluded to, and it's like, apparently the person must have been gotten a hold of some local weed. No, but no, actually, like I said, you did inspire me. I didn't want to. I didn't want to share your content because I didn't want to get hit with a copyright strike. But I did want to give my response, which is, I'm sorry, being overweight is not a flex in any stretch of the imagination.
Agreed.
Agreed too.
Really not.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think you could be overweight and you can look pleasant. You can even look sexy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're like 400, 500, 600 pounds, there's no way to look sexy.
No way.
No way. Okay.
That reminds me. So I'm pretty sure that you two have seen Catfish before, the series. And so I think in one episode, this woman set up a date with this man that she thought was young, very athletic looking, fit, decent body, this, that, and the third. And a person who shows up is a morbidly obese man. Imagine if you were getting catfished, Jose, and like you thought that you were seeing like a woman who's in great shape, and then next thing you know, it turns out to be the opposite. And then they still want to come through with a date.
It'd be like, no thanks. No thanks. I'm sorry. And I'm a morbidly obese person, so.
Nobody likes to be lied to. Just be upfront, be real. And then there's somebody out there that'll more than likely like you, because there are people that are attracted to that, Yeah. So, I mean, shoot your shot.
Part of it has to be attitude and how you portray yourself, okay? Like I said, the fact that I'm overweight, I don't let it affect me to achieve what I want to do in my life. Okay, right now of course, I want to be healthier. Okay. Um, because I want to be able to have a healthy life, the final stages of my life. I don't want to be 65 years old and can't even get out of the bed because I'm too fat, or or no, if I can't even take care of myself. I can't even wipe my butt because I'm just too bloody fat. I mean, I'm sorry. How do these? I'm sorry. How do these people wipe themselves? I mean, your arms can't reach that far. Okay, and what about when it comes to intimacy? How the heck does two morbidly obese people engage in intercourse?
You know what? I'm an
Jose.
avid watcher of like the 600-pound life, and they get into that. Like they get into that, and a lot of them don't wipe themselves. They literally have to have their partner do it, and a lot of them have sexless relationships, which I can't even imagine, but
Wow.
literally that's their life.
Wow. You and Jose are going to be called mean and bigoted.
I don't care. I mean, it's the
Wow.
truth. Like,
Wow, Asia, you are a bigot. You're a horrible bigot who needs to be canceled and thrown in jail for your hate crime, which is fat phobia. It's gonna get to that point. You know that, right?
yeah, it might.
Because
I mean, it might.
it's gonna get to that point because Jose, you're in New York City. If you look online, research it, there's an article out there saying that fat phobia is going to be outlawed according to like a city ordinance. So that in itself is just going to be a slippery slope to things much worse down the line. So Asia, expect to get a fine someday of like thousands of dollars for spewing hate speech.
Oh my goodness.
It's going to
Wow.
get to that point. Same with Jose and maybe even me, because I have one video about it on my channel. So we're all going to get fined thousands of dollars.
For what?
When it
Talking
does-
about what's true? I mean,
Yeah.
what did we say that was a lie? Like, tell me where we lied at. Like, I
Because
mean,
you
We're
know
in-
why? Because we're not glamorizing being obese.
yeah. The thing is, though, like, when it comes to those TikToks and stuff like that, it's generally people that are overweight, but not like 600-pound life ready, because I think those 600-pound life people are truly miserable. Like, there's no happiness in that. There couldn't be. I mean, your life is like so much pain because the human body is just not meant to be that big. So you wake up, you're in pain. You go to bed, you're in pain. So I think that generally the TikToks and those people that are glorifying the obesity, it's because they haven't gotten to a point where it's like superly affecting their health yet. But like I said, it's just a matter of time. It's
Yeah,
just a matter
it
of time.
is. It is. And the fact of the matter is, when was the last time you saw someone weigh 500 pounds reach the age of 61?
Never,
Never.
ever.
Okay.
51 would even be a shock. I mean, at 500.
A lot of those TikTokers, I guess the whole fat influencers, they died when they were in their 30s.
Yep. I've been seeing a lot of YouTube videos about that too. The big name people, like that one lady who opened up a salon for big women because she went into a nail salon and broke a chair and got embarrassed. So her goal was to make it so that morbidly obese women like her could comfortably go get hairstyles and nails. As if that truly matters in life. Getting your hair and your nails done while completely ignoring your morbidly obese, unhealthy body.
Yep,
But you gotta have
I
your
know
hair
the girl
done.
you're talking about. She died at age 37.
And she was like real pretty in the face, but she just
Mhm.
was huge.
Mhm.
That's kind of like putting lipstick on a pig.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. A nose ring and a pig. I think that's even like a Bible verse. Like literally.
No, but like I said, people, the fat fried people can hate all they want. They can, they can call me whatever and everything but a child of God. But I'm going to state the truth.
Yeah, and the truth is
Being
that
obese,
evil is considered to be good now, and good is considered to be evil. Those are the end times that we're in, and the fact that maybe there might be someday where we will get like a fine for making a live stream like this is already going to speak for itself. I'm not trying to jinx us, but I would hate to do that. But I don't know, just something is just intuitively telling me that it can get to that point, because like, if you can now get into a lot of legal trouble for quote unquote misgendering somebody in the state of Michigan, people, you can read up about it if you want to. If you don't believe me, read it up. But if that is already now starting to be talked about in Michigan, then we have already like plunged into a very depraved and decadent state in the U.S.
Wow. I'm shocked. That's the
Well-
state I'm from.
Well, as a municipal employee, when someone asks me where's the bathroom, literally, I got to tell them, well, the men's room is over there, the ladies' room is over there, and the gender neutral bathroom is right that way.
Oh my God. The fact that there even is a gender neutral bathroom is just, people don't know what gender they are. And like I said, I've been called transphobic, fatphobic, racist, colorist, texturist. I mean, just
All the
people-
ad hominem attacks. That's what they call it.
Yeah.
Ad hominem attacks.
Yes. For speaking the truth, not trying to hurt people's feelings, just trying to be real, like, because reality exists. Like, it's crazy.
And look, and believe me, what I've done, first of all, I don't follow a diet, I follow a lifestyle. So what I do is I try to eat healthier. Okay. So what I do is, instead of eating cookies and what have you, I'll eat fruits and nuts as a snack, or I eat like a low-fat yogurt. I have cut down my portion size, okay? But then again, I'm taking Ozempic, and one of the things it does curb your appetite.
Yeah.
But I'm also pre-diabetic, so I mean, how much more do I have to say? Being overweight is not a flex. If anything, it's an anti-flex, because what you're doing is you're creating a heart problems, kidney problems, problems with diabetes, problems with I mean, you are creating a lot of stress, unnecessary stress on your physical body.
Definitely.
And it's just also scary, though, that, yeah, these people, I have to be honest, though, I have to give them credit, though, for having a great deal of clout. And they have like a lot of NGOs that will send them a lot of money. They're even backed by billionaire donors like George Soros. And these are people who should not really be getting all of this clout, all this money, and all this power, or have all this influence to infect the minds of those who are very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't really know,
I agree.
So I'm not really sure like where you may like stand with like Faith Asia, though. But with me and Jose, obviously, you know, we're Bible believing Christians, and what I'm just going to maybe reference, though, is that one verse from the book of Romans, which I believe is in chapter 1 of the book of Romans. And it basically talks about how, well, God handed a bunch of people over to a depraved mind, or a quote unquote reprobate mind. That's when, you know, God has revealed himself plenty of times, and he has exposed himself as being somebody who has made it known that all this stuff isn't right, but people still choose to turn away from him. So as a result of inflicting his wrath on people, he just turns them over to being very carnally driven, being and acting in such depraved ways. And the stuff that you see here with like wokeness, or this whole fat acceptance movement, or all these pretty much mentally disturbed people who shouldn't be having all this clout and influence, you see them making their way into it, though. And all that stuff very much reflects that one verse from the book of Romans. That's what we're seeing nowadays.
Yeah.
I couldn't
What
agree
I'm going
more.
to do, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to share my screen. I don't know if you are aware of the BMI calculator,
Mm-hmm.
body mass index.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, well, hopefully, if I share my screen, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to indicate my BMI to give you an idea, to let people know, hey, I'm not a thin person, I am overweight. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my height. Excuse me. Okay. And I'm going to put my weight, which is 249.3 pounds. And I'm going to calculate it. Okay. I know that it's kind of small, but my BMI is 39, which technically
Okay.
classifies me as being obese. So I'm just going to read to you what's on the right. Underweight is when you have a BMI under 18.5. Normal weight is anywhere from 18.5 to 24.9. Overweight is anywhere between 25 and 29.9. And obese is when you have a BMI of 30. My BMI is 39.0.
Well, now I'm curious. Can you put in 200 for the weight and then the height 5'11" and see what it says? I'm curious now. I'm probably I might even be obese myself. Like,
Oh wow. Funny you say that, Asia, because I'm 5'11" too, and the same weight.
Okay.
I wonder what
So
mine
your
is.
Okay. Your BMI is 27.9, which technically classify you as overweight.
Even me as a man too.
What is your height, Georgia?
Well, out of pure coincidence, I guess me and Asia are the same height and the same
oh,
weight.
so wow. So we would be the same, but that's crazy that it's the same for a man and a woman. It seems like it should be different, but they don't
So
take into account pregnancy, muscle mass, none of that. So sometimes, I don't know, that could be a little off, but that could
that
also be
is.
just not wanting to be overweight.
So according to the logic of the BMI calculator, I'm Eric Cartman then. Okay.
Good evening, Fulana.
Even though I
Long
love to
time
pump
no
iron.
see.
Hey, Fulana. Even though I love to pump iron and everything, and yeah, you're going to gain a little bit of weight though if you pick up on some more muscle mass.
Yeah. And they should ask you, more questions, I think, when calculating the BMI, because not everybody is going to be the same, level of, I think the fat caliper is like the best thing that'll tell you about your body fat percentage. I think that's more so a good indicator of health than BMI, because I mean, sometimes you can just be a really heavy person,
Well, the
and not be
reason why,
fat.
yeah, the reason why I showed it is I that's wanted to make it clear. I'm not just speaking just to speak. I'm actually speaking facts. Okay. So for the fat pride people who are at 400 pounds or 500 pounds, I hate to imagine what their BMI is.
Off the daggone charts.
Yeah. Also, on a related note, Asia. So I was born and raised in Berkeley, California, which is a place that's just known for all this kinds of like activisms and social justice causes. But even people, even in my hometown of Berkeley, or just anywhere in the Bay Area, think that stuff like that is just going way too far, and that's just taking extremism to a whole new level. Because, like, the social justice issues when it came to like racism from back in the day, That's a lot more understandable, though. That's is kind of more of a balanced issue, though. But the whole, oh, we need to tackle fat phobia. Okay, I think that that's just something that people in the Bay Area don't really want to deal with, because they probably also believe that you can't really put that on the same equivalence as being black.
Well, that's good.
Mhm.
Well, look, when we think about what the African American community has endured, first of all, 250 years of chattel slavery, over 100 years of Jim Crow laws, Jim Crow laws and things of that nature, and they're still dealing with the situation, particularly when it comes to the amount of single mothers in the African American community. I think it's very insulting when you have people who are just fat comparing their plight to the plight, say, the African American community or the indigenous community, or even um, the LGBTQ plus whatever community. Um, so, because basically, you're talking about a condition that you can address.
And then, to be honest, even the social stigmas that come along with it, like you're mad because you didn't get asked out in high school. You know what I'm saying? You're mad because your people with your body type aren't on the front of Vogue magazine. Like, those are stupid things to complain about compared to like the things that, like, people dealt with during Jim Crow and slavery. Like, there's no comparison. Like, just because people don't think you're attractive, you're gonna be comparing that. And then even some people saying, like, comparing it to like how disabled people have disadvantages and stuff. There's no comparison. These people were born this way. This is something they can't change. You can change your weight. Or the people that are overweight and have disabilities because of it. Like, you brought that on yourself. Who's supposed to feel sorry for you? Like, when you can easily just lose weight, like, so many other people have had to do, like bariatric surgery or whatever recourse you have to do to lose the weight, because not everybody's fight is the same. Some of us grow up in households where we're fed things and we grow up and we think it's normal. And you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're a kid and you're overweight, I don't blame you. I kind of blame, the parents, and then if you grow up and you still are overweight, then that's on you, because now you're an adult, you're aware, you do your own shopping and things. And we learn what's healthy and what's not as young as in middle school. You get health courses. I remember learning about nutrition in middle school, high school, college. Like, you know what I'm saying? At a certain point in time, like you said, self-accountability. And I just think that that community, the overweight community, just wants people to praise them, give them a pat on the back, and for like literally doing nothing but just existing. And that's just not going to work. Not on Visions of Asia's channel, and apparently not on this one either.
No, believe me, I am not looking for a participation trophy simply because I'm a male. Okay. I want to be evaluated based on my individual merit, not because I'm 80 to 90 pounds overweight or whatever you, or whatever mental decision defect I have. And the fact of the matter is, again, I managed to graduate with a bachelor's degree. I managed to become a homeowner. Okay. And I got one promotion. So apparently I'm doing something right.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really great, man, to hear, though. I mean, like, we should all like appreciate and cherish our own milestones and achievements in life, though. And I'm really glad that, like, I'm already at a point where I can go anywhere in the world now if I wanted to, as long as I have decent internet connection. So expect to see some traveling videos along the way in foreign countries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's definitely is a privilege,
and
hard work earned.
Yeah. And the fact of the matter is, technically, I am disabled, but it's a temporary disability because the condition of my left knee. But the thing is, I'm dealing with that. Plus, I'm overweight. Okay, but Unlike a lot of these people, I am addressing the issue. First of all, I admit it, I have a problem, which is half the battle right there. And I'm taking the necessary steps needed to try to improve my health.
That's great. And the fact that you see that and you're doing things, who's going to fault you? Nobody can say anything to you, but if you were on here saying, hey, people praise me and my weight just because I exist here, like, that's what the fat acceptance movement is. And it's never going to be right. Not in my book. And I understand what you're saying, like how the world is changing. And there are so many things that I don't agree with that the world is trying to push on you, like the genders and, now it's fat acceptance. And it's going to probably be even more weird stuff. Now you got people saying they're different species. They identify as cat and dog and just
Like,
craziness.
yeah. Like, imagine though if I walked into the ladies' room with you, Asia, and you started looking at me oddly, like, what am I doing in here? I'm going to be like, well, hey, I'm a grown woman like you too. So what's your problem?
That's when I just stopped using the bathroom in public. Nope.
You see what's wrong with the picture, but here's the thing: we're already at that point. Like, I already know that if I walked into the same ladies' room as you did with your daughter, and I know you're going to look at me oddly.
Definitely.
And then I'm going to be like, what? I'm a grown ass woman. What's your problem? We're at that point.
But they've been trying to bring this insanity into the church.
Wow. Well, yeah. I mean,
talking
even
about
churches with gay pastors and stuff. Yeah.
I mean, look, you have churches where you have gay priests, you have gay bishops. In fact, you have like members of the conservative members of the Episcopalian Church leaving the Episcopalian Church because they cannot deal with the fact that they allow openly gay people to be priests and bishops and whatnot.
I don't agree with it either. I mean, because I know so many gay people and I'm cool with them and I have no problem with their lifestyle. It doesn't affect me at all. But when it comes to church, I mean, to me, that's just one place that shouldn't be. That's like just being outwardly an evil person. Like, and I don't know, like, can you imagine like a serial killer trying to just come up and justify that? Are we going to get to that point in this society where people are like, look, I have the right to kill. This is an urge I have, and I should be able to satisfy my urge. Like some stuff is just crazy and wild, and it just shouldn't be accepted. And for some reason it is. Well, I don't go to church either, Pulana, because it's like one of those things where I haven't been able to, and I want to go to church and teach my children. Like me and my husband, we pray together. We read the Bible to the children. We want to go to church, but we cannot find a church that isn't about money. You know what I'm saying? Where it's just like, I don't know if it's just like the area we're in, but I mean, there's so many churches where it's like literally, if you have less than $100 to tithe today, don't even get in line, and if you're unwilling to give us your name, address, and all this and that, you can't come in the church. And it's just like, okay, what happened to the old days where anyone was welcome?
So yeah, you're dealing with just kind of like one of those churches that are like apostate and also legalistic though, because you don't have to, I mean, tithing is great. Even my church encourages it too, but like Pastor Jeff is not really going to hold a gun up to your head and say, you better tithe or get out though. I'm like, because that's now starting to creep into like cultish territory and just legalism though, which actually even Jesus himself is against like the legalistic types too. Because there's a reason why he called out those like the Sadducees and the Pharisees as well. So if you sense a church like that, then it's time to run though. Because long story short, you got to judge based on the fruit of the Spirit too.
Definitely.
And that church that you were going to doesn't sound like it's producing fruitless.
Hello,
Hey.
good evening.
Hey,
Good evening, guys. Yeah, I just wanted to
How you
wait
doing?
until you guys until my guy Giorgio finishes his statement, because I wanted to say something really quick. So I'll hang on. No,
Go
not
for
right
it.
now. Not right now. Giorgio, finish. You were saying something?
No, I was just saying Asia, though, is that, yeah, I'm just judged by the fruit of the Spirit, and that even does mean even judging the fruit of the church you're going to as well.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, all right. I see that I jumped in the middle of a bit of a touchy subject. It seems. Maybe I'm wrong.
Not really, though.
Well,
It's just like we
actually,
were kind of
no.
covering issues that we would actually all agree on.
Okay. Yeah. Because I have my own thing about about religion, and it just so happens that today I came. I got I got an idea about a video that has to do with religion that is gonna get me in trouble with you, Jose. But first, I wanna say shout out to the chat, and I wanna introduce myself to Miss Asia. How you doing? I mean, I know who you are. I have seen your channel. I have find myself agreeing with just about everything that you say when it comes to your material. So
That's
it's
what's
nice
up.
to talk to you. Yeah.
Oh, nice to meet you too. Thank you, by
Thank
the
you.
way.
Thank you.
So actually, my topic is dealing with people who are into fat pride. Okay, because Visions actually did some videos regarding these people that were morbidly obese, talking about they're beautiful, they're sexy, that they're facing oppression for being overweight. So I decided, as an overweight person myself, to bring some logic into the discussion.
No, but you can't bring to the logic. That's gonna get you attacked. That's gonna make enemies for you because you're not supposed to criticize somebody who is overweight. Remember, I mean, the body positivity. Even though it is the whole body positivity thing, is not what they make it out to be. That's not how that started. I mean, in the beginning, body positivity had to do with people that actually had like deformities because of birth defects, or somebody who had been who had lost a limb, who had lost an extremity, and they have some kind of a disability and deformity. That's what it was supposed to be about originally, but the overweight ones, the ones that can do something about it, because being overweight is something that people can do something about, and they have taken the expression and run with it and made it about them, not about the people that have a condition or a deformity or the loss of a limb, and they can't really do anything about it unless it is the loss of a limb, and they can get a prosthesis. The people that have had a very unfortunate turn of things for them, and but Jose, you can't say that. You're gonna get canceled.
Yeah, I was also telling Jose
Okay.
earlier, though, that he's about to be called a fat phobe because, quote
Oh
unquote,
yeah,
fat phobia is a new thing. And I guess, Ramon, you're going to be called one too.
Oh,
A
me
fat
too.
phobe.
Me too. Even though I know that I'm a few pounds overweight myself, I mean, it becomes more difficult to shed it off as one gets a little older, and I am getting a bit older. It becomes more difficult. It's gonna happen to all of us. So anybody
So
that
basically,
Yeah.
So basically, you have internalized fat phobia.
yeah, maybe I do. Maybe I do. Maybe that's what it is. Because I recognize that
Internalized
But-
fat phobia. Wow.
yeah. Because I recognize it in myself. So I guess that's what it is.
But guys, I suffer from a terminal disease called I don't care itis.
Ah, right.
I think I've got that too.
I guess same here because I mean, Jose, you already know me. Like, people will talk about me all the time, calling me all these crazy things that you already know, which I'm not going to repeat on here. But do you think I care?
I know.
Absolutely not. Because I guess I have a terminal illness called I don't care-itis as well.
Right.
I'm like, well,
Right,
thank you for
no.
helping me boost up my algorithm with my terminal illness.
Ah,
Thank you. Keep it up.
I mean, I mean, some of the, backlash I've experienced, like, for example, when I did a stream regarding feminism, one person got upset simply by me addressing the topic. Okay. And like I said before, I mean, look, if you have an issue with a topic, you discuss it with me. You don't go through a third party and have that third party talk to me about it and all that, and then talk about, oh, people are going to paint you in a bad light. People been painting me in a bad light for years. I mean, it's not. I mean, it's really nothing new. And the fact of the matter is, if you're going to be a serious YouTube creator, you have to develop a thick skin.
100.
Yeah,
Amen.
that's kind of like us that are kind of like the older generations, because it's the newer generations. I'm not saying you guys, but me being a Gen Xer, I mean, I grew up outside. I grew up kind of like falling down, getting scraped. I didn't have when I was a kid. You go to the playgrounds. It was all made of steel. It's not like how it is now, that everything has to be kind of like rubber padded and plastic, so that kids don't get don't get hurt. No. So the swings were metal chains that could get you flung out, and you could end up falling on your face, and the other things that you could climb over. Thing, it was all made of steel. All made of steel, and the slides, yes, made of metal too. That's what I grew up with. So that kind of made us a little bit more resilient, and we spent the whole day outside too. Even though we did have some of the earlier video games, we did have them, but we balanced that out because we did wanted to ride our bikes and go to the court and to the park and play outside too. So that kind of like
look,
resilient. But the younger generation, Yep.
I mean, in my day, whenever I misbehave, my mother would hit me with a sandal or with a belt or even with a broomstick.
No, I was once
do that
hit
today,
with
it's child abuse.
No, I got beat one time with an umbrella. but I also got the belt and the flip flop, the chancleta, as we call it.
Well, I used to always get the switch as well.
I
But
have heard
guys,
I have heard about the use of the switches. I don't know anything about that, but I have heard of it. That's kind of weird.
Yeah,
it's
my
a Southern
husband, he said he
tradition,
had to go outside and get like, sticks from a tree, and like sometimes he would pick stuff that his mom would test in the air to see if it was gonna be like good enough, and he would have to go back and get more. I didn't get whooped like that. I used to get belts, just with the hand. I mean, but like you said, nowadays you can't even yell at your kids and like you're threatened with CPS. So
Yeah.
Well,
Especially for you, Aisha, that I understand that you're a mother. I mean, and you have kids that are growing up. From what I understand, I watch your channel. That's how I know. But yeah. Hopefully, one of your kids doesn't grow up old enough that if you tell them something about you disciplining them, they're gonna go, "I'm gonna call the cops on you." I hope they not say something like that to you. I mean.
oh,
Heaven forbid, something like that.
So you're basically
True.
saying that society now is like a bunch of pillow people. I mean,
That's what I'm
kids are
hearing.
softer, people are softer.
I don't know if I could be a parent, because if I were to be a parent, I will have to be a parent the same way that I was raised, and there was discipline. I barely talk, and I still got got whipped. I still did, and I would barely talk. I mean, there was a time when my folks thought that I may have been autistic, but I was tested, and that wasn't it. It was just that I was quiet. I would barely talk, and still I got whooped sometimes.
wow. So got to get going, guys. But Asia, since this is the first time I'm actually hearing of you, I'm gonna go and give your channel a follow, and I'll
Okay.
comment on one of your, I guess, your latest videos then.
Okay, thank you so much. I'm like I said, I wrote down your name too. I don't know, introvert Barusha is
Boricua, Boricua,
Boricua. Oh, okay.
Boricua. Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
have
yeah.
a channel too?
Yes, it's by that name, Introvert Boricua 787. Something should come up if you search that.
Okay,
Um, and yeah, definitely. I
I'll
do.
check you guys out too.
Well,
Yeah.
my name on here is a little different, so I'll just comment on your video and I'll make myself known.
Okay, cool.
Alrighty, have a good evening.
Take care.
Peace out.
Take it easy, man.
Take care. Thank you for stopping by, Jojo. So, Ramon, any
Yes,
further
sir.
comments regarding the people who are into fat pride?
But you know what? It's just that the whole thing about the whole body positivity is that it encourages keeping up with the laziness. They're trying to force a narrative that has never been a thing. I mean that whole we already talked about that a little bit with some of the people that are influencers, particularly on TikTok, and they are passing away. They're passing away some of them are like in their early 30s, and they're already passing away because they're so big. And it's because maybe there are people that have weird fetishes when it comes to people that are overweight. And there was one influencer who passed away. He was only like 32, 33 years old, and he was so overweight he didn't have a neck. And what he did was that he would be sitting up on TikTok, on a live stream on TikTok, stuffing his face with nothing, fried stuff, refined sugar things like pastries type of thing. Nothing that was really good for you. All of that, it was deep fried things. And that's what he will be doing all the time on a live stream on TikTok. Ended up passing away because, of course, that's not going to give you some heart disease, which kills a lot of people. It takes the lives of a lot of people. And there are others that are on their way. And I learned about that of all people because I came across a video by Blair White in which she talks about that. And Fulana, no, but for real, you Fulana, you can look this up. I believe that it's on TikTok that you can find this stuff. Influencers that are very overweight and their content is about them like stuff in the face, and apparently people actually send them money to do that because they may have some weird fetish or something. And yeah, that is a thing. So that's not good. That's not sexy. That's not attractive. There are people with weird fetishes, and that's what maybe is fueling these trends. But for the most part, if people will actually make a little bit of an effort to take care of themselves better, and so they can prolong their life. It's only one life. You want to be able to live it the best possible. You don't wanna be bedridden, stuck on a bed like in the show 600-Pound Life. And we talked about it when there are these people that are 400, 500, 600 pounds that they are stuck in a bed. And I think that these people can be very selfish. I don't have a lot of sympathy. I don't have a lot of sympathy for people that do that because I feel like they do that intentionally so they can keep people's attention on them. They become somebody else's burden, and that's what I don't like. Because I'm a bit overweight. Yes, I am, but I still do for myself. I'm not a burden to anybody. But there are some of these people that are stuck in a bed. They can barely walk, and they need to have other people, usually their relatives, sometimes even their children, are having to take care of them, and being the parent, the child is having to take care of the parent. And sometimes they're too small for that. Sometimes they're children. They're children. They're not young adults. That okay? There's a young adult. They're taking care of their elder parent. That's one thing. But I'm talking about relatively young people that are so big, so overweight that the children are having to take care of them, and that's not childhood. That's very selfish.
It sounds
That's
like
very
you watched
selfish.
My 600-Pound Life.
I think I came across it, but I have also seen it on other platforms, and well, it really just so happens when I was in Puerto Rico, when I was in the hospital with my mom, the television was tuned to a channel that was actually showing some of the episodes of that, and I will be talking about that with my mom, and she will be like wow, that's that's crazy how they let themselves get like that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think I have seen that guy that you were talking about that died in his early 30s, and I want to say he was really, really screwed up because he was doing like mukbangs, eating like expired food. Like, it's
Oh,
no wonder he died. Like, he was like getting canned food from like 50 years ago, and just
what?
for the views, like eating it.
What?
Oh,
Yeah,
ugh.
and then he ended up dying.
Yeah.
It's another YouTuber named Life by Jen. I don't know if you guys ever heard of her. She died like last year. It's another
Mhm.
YouTuber who's, I hate to say it, her name is Hungry Fat Chick. Like, literally, that's her name on YouTube.
Oh boy.
And she's on her way out because you can like see it all in her face. Like, she gets on here and she eats probably 15,000 calories in a sitting and just
Oh
talks the
boy.
whole time, like
Mhm.
moaning and groaning, like she's making love to the food right there.
Uh,
And
It's
her
kind of like
health.
an ASMR kind of thing.
Hmm?
You would say like a ASMR type of thing.
Yeah, like she's, chewing and making the sounds, the grunt sounds. I guess like because
Like
there's like
like
this whole
oh
eater
okay,
thing.
okay.
Like,
Oh,
because there's men that like are turned on, I guess, by watching the women eat, and ugh, I don't know why, but she's not.
I don't understand it.
I
I
don't
don't
mean to be
understand.
mean, but she is.
No, if that's what she was saying, if that's what she was doing, then that's what she was doing. There is nothing mean about it. That's
Yeah,
just
and
stating a
she
fact.
even knows it. Like, she's always talking like, I pretty much have kind of given up on trying to lose weight. I'm just gonna eat what I want, and people still watch. Like, I can't even watch it at this
Of
point because
course.
it's just depressing and sad.
That's the thing. That's what it sounds. It sounds like some people have a fetish for that because fetish is kind of like an attraction to weird shit. That's kind of like what a fetish is, and
Hmm.
that's weird shit.
It
I mean, like
is.
wanting to watch, getting a kick out of watching people hurting themselves with food. That's a new one to me.
It's very
Um,
sick.
Ramon,
Yes.
can you see yourself making love to a woman that's like 400 or 500 pounds?
Well, no, because I have been with a couple of women in my life that have been over 200 pounds. Yes, because it's not always just of what is on the. It's not just of what is on the outside. So I have been with a couple of somewhat big girls in my life. Yes, before. Yes, not my preference, but it has happened. But somebody who is 400 pounds, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know what to do. I wouldn't know how to hit that. I mean, it will be too much
Wherever you
work.
want.
It will be too much work. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
I think I get the impression that it will be too much work. I will have to push too hard here, move things out of the way there to be able to do the do. I don't know. I don't know if I could do it. No.
Or
Yeah.
imagine if you had to wipe her butt.
Mm. Mm-mm-mm.
But that's the thing. That's the thing because some of these 600 pounds life types, they get so big, and then if they have children, they need to have their children their children wipe their butt and wipe the parts that are one stack on top of the other, so they get all sweaty and dirty and uh, no, it's well,
Can you imagine the smell
the
of
stank,
somebody who's
the
stuck in a
thing.
bed like that? It's got
Yeah.
to be horrible.
Yeah.
Like I know
One
nurses
more.
who say they wear Vicks vapor rub like when they deal with the extra big patients because
Yeah.
they try to, Vicks vapor rub has that strong smell of like what is it,
Yeah.
eucalyptus or something.
Yes.
But that's how bad it is. They have to put that on their noses and around their face just so they don't smell like the people when they
Yeah.
clean
So,
them.
they can, yeah, they can smell the menthol and the eucalyptus instead of whatever the patient has.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Makes sense that they will do that.
Ramon, let me ask you this question. If you had the
Yes.
choice of making love to a 600-pound woman that hasn't bathed in a week, or go to Orchard Beach
No.
here in New York,
No.
which one of the two would you
Okay.
do?
Neither. Because it's the same thing. I'm gonna be exposed to foulness. I will be exposed to foulness with somebody too big that hasn't bathed, and I will be exposed to foulness at Chocha Beach. I don't want to. No, that's not. I can't do either or. There is no option for me there.
Okay,
No.
Aisha, let me explain what we're talking about. You see, Orchard Beach is one of the beaches that we have in New York, and we have this big disagreement about how dirty it is, how clean it is, how whatever it is.
You're the only one
And
who says, Jose, but you're the only one who says that Orchard Beach is clean. It's clean and people can get in that beach. You're the only one who says that. And Asia, I keep saying no, because I'm actually from the Caribbean, which has some of the best beaches in the world, the Caribbean islands. So nothing in New York, nothing in the shoreline of New York can compare to any of the beaches on the Caribbean. So,
Oh
like,
yeah, I'm sure.
no, and Jose knows that. And if you have had a chance to do some travel in Asia and you have seen some of it yourself, then you know. But no,
Okay.
no, Jose. I don't want to. I might see it from a distance. I would like to look at it from a distance, but I'm not touching that water.
You know what, you guys, I do apologize.
Yes.
I gotta be on mommy duty.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
you know what, Aisha, thank you very much for stopping by, and I would appreciate it if you don't mind sharing this stream on your community tab.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely will do that. And thank you again.
Thank you.
It was nice meeting you, and I will check out your channel as well. And thank you so much for having me, Jose. And maybe we can do this again. Have another topic soon.
Definitely,
I'm sure.
I'll email you. But thank you very much for stopping by.
Thank you.
Nice
I'll
meeting
see
you too. Take
Yeah,
care.
Take care.
Okay,
Bye.
take care. So, actually, Orchard Beach is not that okay. It's a little dirty, but it's not really as dirty as some
You're the
people
only
think
one
it
who
is.
says that. Jose, you're the only one who says that. Everybody else that I have asked, they tell me that it's just that it's like sewer water on Orchard Beach. So,
I mean,
Fulana,
I mean,
tell us the truth. Tell us the truth, Fulana. I understand that you're from New York. You're in New York yourself. Tell us the truth. So, no, not interested.
but in any case, I will start to wrap this up. Before I do that, do you have anything else you wish to discuss regarding the topic?
Well, I mean, at first when I tuned in, you were you were kind of like talking about something else, but it had to do with religion, and that's why that's why I didn't want to get into that. But it just so happens, like I said before, it just so happens that that an idea for a video came to mind, and it had to do with religion. And exactly, Fulana, exactly. You see, a New Yorker like you is disagreeing. Come on now. She's not the only one. There have been other people that I have asked, and they tell me, like, no, Orchard Beach, they call it Chocha Beach for a reason. But when it comes to the subject, it's gonna be an interesting subject that is gonna make you mad at me. So but I'm not gonna tell anything. I'm not gonna say anything. It's an idea, and I have to. I have a pretty much form. I pretty much know what I want to do, but I have to do a little reading so I make sure that I get my facts straight. So,
Well, actually, I think was it 2 years ago? I did it. I was a co-host with Denise regarding a topic called religion and the commercialization of Christ. So basically, of course, as the only Christian on the panel, I gave my defense, so to speak, regarding Christianity. Now, I do get it. People have whatever concept regarding Christians, being that we're too judgmental and what have you. And it's valid, and it's valid. But I will submit to you that if you take away all the negativity, there is a positive message behind it.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. That's fine.
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start to take closing remarks. So we're gonna start with the lover of cold, who wants to go to Times Square on New Year's Eve to watch the ball drop in sandals and shorts, who is dying of the opportunity of diving into the waters of Orchard Beach and
especially Orchard Beach. Right.
Calls Orchard Beach the most beautiful beach in the world. Who does not think that New York has a serious rat problem?
Right.
Who wants to be a member of the Golden Spear? Who wants to go to Coney Island on New Year's Day and swim in the ocean? Okay, the introvert Boricua.
Thank you, Jose. Thank you, Jose. I like the intro, even though I'm always arguing against it because I don't agree with it. But thank you, sir. No. I mean, when it comes to the religious thing, I do tend to have my reservations when it comes to religion because of the readings that I have done. But I would like to do that more towards because Holy Week Easter is coming up, right? So I would like to do it kind of like at around that time. It's not gonna be too long from now. The other thing that you were talking about was the the whole thing with the whole positivity, the body positivity, which has been hijacked. The term has been hijacked. Like I mentioned before, it had nothing to do with being overweight. Body positivity was for people that had deformities, had lost a limb, had things that were out of their control, had an accident, or had been have been deployed and ended up losing a limb or getting a deformation. You see, that's different. That's different because that had to do with things that happen, or maybe somebody that was born with a deformity, something that happens in their body. So that's where body positivity was being encouraged. But the certain overweight ones, they hijacked the term and ran with it and made it about them, which is no, I don't agree with it. So we need to be responsible. We need to be responsible for ourselves, and myself included, because I like to eat and I am a few pounds overweight because of that. And it doesn't mean, like George say, that I have internalized fat phobia because I recognize it in myself. But thank you, Jose, for letting me get up on the panel late because I know that I came up late. I was in the middle of something else, so I appreciate it. I appreciate you letting me be on your panel, and until next time, that's all I got. Thank you for having me. And Herbie saying Lizzo hijacked the term. I wouldn't be surprised because she is the one who was running with that and overly exposing herself, like we want to see her blubber self. And the thing is that Lizzo is actually, if you isolate her face, Lizzo is actually cute. She's actually cute. But her being so big, it doesn't help her. I even found out, I even saw an old picture of hers when she was actually thin, and she was cute. She was real cute back then. Yeah, she was actually fit a number of years ago. Yeah.
Can you hang around for the backstage briefly?
Yeah, sure, I can hang out.
Okay, well, I'll put you backstage. And again, people, if you have not done so, please consider subscribing to Into Boricua. Check out his contact. The same thing with Visions of Asia, and also the same thing with George's channel and with Dreadlock Diary. So I'm going to put you in the backstage.
Thank you for having me, and shout out to the chat. I'll see you guys next time.
Yes, take care. Yeah, yes. So don't go away. I'll put you in the backstage. Now I'm going to give you my final thoughts. I just wanted to give my rebuttal to the people who are into this fat pride stuff. Okay, there's nothing wrong with being overweight as long as you actually try to do something to address the issue. The issue is when you try to glamorize being overweight or being morbidly overweight, and you're treating it as a flex. Believe me, as a person that dealt with morbid obesity, it is no flex by any stretch of the imagination. As always, a huge shout out to everyone who appear on the chat. Huge shout out to everyone to be on the panel. And of course, all of you are more than welcome to opine after the stream is over. Just keep it positive. Just keep it, respectful. Now, I'm going to be going live tomorrow at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where I'm going to be talking about open discussion. So basically, I'm just going to talk about anything and everything that's on my mind. And thank you very much, Fulana, for stopping by. Don't be a stranger. You're more than welcome here. With that being said, just just deal with the reality. If you're overweight, okay, do consider trying to lose the weight to make yourself healthier. And the fact of the matter is, your body, your joints, your heart will appreciate it. So with that being said, I'm gonna close the same way I always close. We must do everything possible to minimize our content with the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Ningong, saying good night, take care, be the best version of yourself, and peace.